Make it 4 in a row for the first time this season for the Edmonton Oilers. They get the job done against the Seattle Kraken. 3-0 is your final as they look to pull within the top spot in the Pacific Division. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Shawn Belle and Benny Thomson. Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999, and you can hop into the nasty chat, too, if you want to share your thoughts about Edmonton's victory tonight over the Seattle Kraken. Maybe you loved it. Maybe you didn't like it for some reason. A pretty efficient, neat, and tidy 3-0 win for the Oil. We do want to hear from you, and we get things going with Bellsy and Benny. Boys, I thought that was actually a really nicely played game by the Edmonton Oilers. Now, was it perfect? No. Was it effective? Yes. I thought they defended particularly well. You just heard Louis and Jack talking about all the shots that they blocked and how they've been blocking a lot more shots lately. I think Connor Murphy has a lot to do with that, absolutely. But Bellsy, I'm going to throw this to you, and I want to see what you think first. The way they defended tonight, to me, it looked like they were on top of the Kraken wherever the Kraken went for the most part. And I know Seattle had its push in the second period, especially when it got some power plays and then in the third. But for the most part, I thought Edmonton defended on top of the Kraken. You know what I mean?
Like, are you talking about in zone or just like kind of working their way through the neutral zone?
I thought even when they were back checking and they lost possession in the offensive zone, they were on top of the Kraken and were good sticks on pucks, as you like to say. They were forcing pucks back down low in the Kraken zone. Like, I thought they were over top of the Kraken the whole night. Yeah,
like they didn't give them really an ounce to breathe. And like you mentioned, you know, every time there was an opportunity, they were right on top of that player almost instantaneously. You know, there's one shift that I can remember. I think it might have been the second period. It was Connor Murphy and Darnell Nurse working basically in the corner, and it was a hard check from Murphy on one of the Kraken players. The puck kind of moved east-west, but Darnell Nurse was right there in a hurry, and he basically did the same thing. They had a bit of a scrum. The third guy, the centerman for the Oilers, came in, picked up the loose change, and then they broke out of the zone fairly easily. And it's been stuff like that that has allowed them to spend less time in the defensive zone. And Benny alluded to this earlier in our pregame show, is that they just spend a lot less time in the defensive zone. And it's because they're playing quick. It's because positioning wise, they're in a lot better spots. Stick on puck is very good. So they're disrupting plays. And last but not least, and I've said this 1,000 times, they're taking away time and space. They're not giving their opponent any opportunity to make a play. And it's now obviously working for them, and they're going the opposite way in a hurry.
I think above the puck is the best way to describe it. Yeah. I said on top, which they were, but I think the proper term there is above the puck. Benny Thomson, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I titled the YouTube stream, "The Oilers Suffocate the Kraken in 3-0 win," and I feel like that's, to me, how I saw it. It just felt like the Oilers suffocated the Kraken in terms of just not allowing them to breathe. Like Bellsy was saying, like they were playing on top of the puck, just constantly a stick in the direction of the puck or a body or whatever it was. I noticed a ton of cycle breakups from specifically that Murphy and Nurse pair. Like I don't know, like if it's Paul Coffey or if it's just Nurse playing with Murphy or whatever. Maybe they're just confidence is growing, whatever it is. That D pair specifically, I mean, top of the whole game itself, but that D pair just shuts down cycles now. And it's really nice to see, because I think this Oilers team over the years has probably lacked a reliable shutdown pair. Like, you don't want Bouchard and Ekholm playing the top end talent. You want them out there for ozone starts and rack up points and play with McDavid. It's nice to see an Oilers pair that is able to shut down the other team's top guys, and I feel like that's what Nurse and Murphy have been doing here for the past couple weeks. So they were the highlights to me, but for the most part, man, this entire game, when the Kraken had their push, it's not like they had that many grade A opportunities. It was a lot of just solid defending. This is not a typical game you'd see the Oilers win 2 months ago. This was not in their game. It simply wasn't. Like, this was that they just simply weren't that good defensively. And a lot has changed since then. And they shut out a team that struggles to score offensively, but you take it. It's a 3-0 win against a Pacific team, and you roll along. You get Chicago on Thursday. Things are looking up here for the Oilers.
Edmonton now pulls to within 2 points of the Anaheim Ducks for top spot in the Pacific Division, keeps the Vegas Golden Knights at bay a little bit. The Golden Knights picking up they had the win the other night. So it was against Vancouver, don't get me wrong, and John Tortorella's debut behind the Golden Knights bench. So a good win all around for the Oil. Was it perfect? No. But a lot to like indeed. We want your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat as well. Before I dip into that, I will say that GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream postgame show and providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Some initial text. RBM begins it with, "Hi, friends." Hello, RBM. Nate Dogg chiming in says, okay, now it's typical Oilers fashion to get their first 4-game win streak now that Leon is in the lineup. Of course, anything that the Oilers are expected to do, they do the opposite. Nate Dogg. We've learned this in Oil Country, and I totally understand what you mean. Let's go to this text. Says, would you look at that? 4 in a row, fellas. Let's make it 6 or 7. Connor the Sponge Ingram. Yeah, he had a pretty damn solid night for sure. Atif says 4 in a row. Yeah, the Oilers are back. Let's go. The coffee is brewing nicely. The defense rocking, and the goaltender is a brick wall. Happy birthday, Connor Ingram. Shutout Atif. That's right. It's his 29th birthday, and he celebrates that with a shutout. It was interesting, Bellsy, because after we did Game Changers and we ran Kate Shefty from the Seattle Times, we played Matthias Ekholm, and he was asked about, hey, listen, is it the new guys that have come in? Is it the systems change, new coaching voice with Paul Coffey back behind the bench? And you know what he said? He basically said, I think that we know at this time of year how to play, and so we start to bear down. And I was like, whoa. In a roundabout way, you're saying you flipped the switch. Is that good or bad? Or what do you think of Ekholm making that comment when he was asked, hey, is it the coaching? Is it the system? Is it the new guys?
I mean, I think that's a great comment because, like, you can dissect it any way you want to. But I do think that there is an experience factor to this hockey team that understands the way to play. I mean, they've been to 2 straight Cup finals. You don't just make it there by accident. And so you have a team that, for the most part has returned almost everybody, give or take some guys, but they understand it. They know that they've got to start to bear down. They know that, those little plays, details in the game, they matter when it gets to this time of the year. And you see a team that's starting to bear down on those things, and you're not having egregious turnovers. You're not having mental lapses as much. And everybody's kind of doing a little bit more. But I do also think, hey, they've changed their system in the defensive zone. It's been a little bit better. They're taking away time and space from guys. Like, I do think there is details in the game that they have tweaked that have shown up in the game. So, yes, his comments are, they're kind of pointed towards, hey, we're an experienced hockey team. We know what we're doing. But there's other pieces of the game that have definitely helped them out as well.
Yeah, and you've broken down that a modified swarm defense, you call it?
Yeah, like they're basically collapsing the zone so that, if you're the opposing team, you've got to either play 2-on-5 or 3-on-5 in a very small area of the ice. And if you can do that, well, good for you, and you can make your plays, but we're going to outnumber you, on the puck, and we're going to make sure that we have more numbers than you at all times, and then we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to break out. And because we have outnumbered you, more often than not, we're going to have an odd man rush going the opposite way. So what you saw today, actually, with the Kraken and the way that they played, is they tried to get pucks low to high instantaneously, and their third guy at times, especially in the first period, was playing up all the way at the blue line. Right. So it forced the centerman for the Oilers to come all the way out, which gave it a little bit different a wrinkle because they didn't want to get caught in that, I guess, that swarm or the way that they're playing.
All right, 780-218-9999. Get into the Nasty Chat over on YouTube as well as the Oilers get a 3-0 victory over the Seattle Kraken. 85 points now on the season with this 4-game winning streak. Hampton Steve is texting in. Hampton Steve says, good evening, gents. Another very solid defensive effort by the Oilers tonight. While the Kraken don't have elite skill players, it was still an impressive shutdown performance by Edmonton. Max Jones and Josh Szymanski continue to impress in the bottom six and are making a strong case to remain in the lineup when everyone gets healthy. No idea who comes out of the lineup for Frederick on Thursday. Probably Lazar by default, right? What would you say?
Yeah, him or Max Jones. I mean,
that's the logical.
What about Szymanski? I know we like Szymanski, and I've been saying how encouraged I am by him, but veteran, rookie, like
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I have my pick, but they're not going to do it.
Henrique, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
you're not taking Henrique out of the lineup. There's too much experience there. He's playing okay. Like you're not doing that, and it's a veteran voice in the locker room. Yeah, I could see a case for Szymanski, but I mean, what has it been over the course of the year? The easiest guys to take out are usually the guys that go out. And please don't take this as disrespect to either of those players or any of the players, but Max Jones is one of the guys that will probably come out of the lineup, and the other one is probably Curtis Lazar. Now, am I sitting here telling you that they haven't earned it? No, I'm not saying that.
Right.
I think that Lazar has been fantastic when he's played in the lineup, but we've seen when Frederick's been healthy, who's been on the lineup, who's been the guys that are rotating in and out. Does it change? Yeah, maybe, but
I mean, this is it's fantastic that we're having this discussion right now, right? Like who would have thought that Leon Draisaitl is out of the lineup and we're having to debate who Trent Frederick comes in for, because it's actually a debate. There's not like a clear, this guy just got pulled out. He hasn't done anything. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, I almost forget, at least watching this team 5-on-5, that Draisaitl's out. Like, that's how much guys have stepped up. There have been guys, I mean, Savoy and Podkolzin have been the highlights of it, but it seems like everyone has stepped up their game in the replacement to 29. Now, they haven't been able to do it on the power play, which there's been chat about in the Nasty Chat, and I know we'll talk about it probably a little bit later. But the power play is still struggling, but at least 5-on-5, man, like everyone has seemed to step up and tug their part of the rope. And when he comes back in, you got your depth going a little bit here. Like this was what we're talking about, like the good situations that could come out of this Draisaitl injury. We're starting to see it. Like this might be a huge benefit for this team come playoff time.
I'm just looking at the minutes really quickly here, you guys. Let's take a look at the breakdown, especially with that fourth line, which got the goal from Max Jones. I think it hit him in the head or up high somewhere. He was laughing it off. He was very happy to get his third goal of the year. So the fourth line specifically, Lazar had 950 tonight. Then you had Max Jones at 953 and Szymanski played 948. So they were very much out there the entire time together and almost got to 10 minutes. The third line with Dickinson, he had 1440. Was Kapanen. Kapanen had the really nice play to break up the Adam Larson pass and go in and score. He had 15-12 tonight. And then where's Henrique? Henrique had a little bit of PK time. 13:38 for Henrique. Had that partial break and went high, and it was good to see him get a little bit of his legs going. I know they're not where they used to be, but overall, you know what? They got good contributions from their third and fourth lines. The Jones goal and the Kapanen goal, and then the top two lines, although they didn't score except for McDavid's empty netter, were pretty decent all night long as well. We're seeing a lot of the word mature popping up in the Nasty Chat in regard to how the team played tonight in this victory. When you hear people say mature, Bellsy, about this Oilers performance and how they played over the last week, where they're 4-0, what comes to mind?
Just details. And I think Louis mentioned in his broadcast, they're managing pucks extremely well. They're not committing those turnovers that we saw at the start of the year. You can just see the difference. Like they're being patient with their game. And there's been times over the course of the season where it almost felt like they were forcing offense because they were just like, they couldn't defend. So they're trying to force offense. And then what would happen, it'd be in the back of their net. And right now, when you watch them play, they're taking care of their own zone. They're being tidy with the puck, right? They're managing it as best as they possibly can. And then the offense is just naturally coming because this team has put the puck in the net for the most part all year. And they're one of the top teams in goals for in the NHL. So, they know they can score. But if they can take care of their end and then just naturally let the goals go in because they're going to get their chances, they got some of the best players in the world, that's what I'm taking out of it from a mature standpoint.
All right, let's go back into the inbox, 780-218-9999. We'll go to Stupid Peter I saw got in there, and he said, Connor Ingram is a stud. Yes, very calm game for him. He was a little bit busier in the latter half of the game and made some nice saves tonight, picking up the shutout, his second of the season, 9th of his career. Let's go to Ryan from Sask. Ryan from Sask texting in says, biggest change I have noticed in the Oilers game is patience, not forcing plays in transition, making simple plays to get the puck moving the right way. Also, really liked Szymanski again tonight. He's definitely making a case for himself to stick around. We move on to Library Pat. Library Pat says, I agree that the team is playing much better defensively as a whole, but Ingram made some really good saves too. Shutout,
Yep.
well earned. Library Pat. All right. Birthday boy, Connor Ingram, shutout. Boys, what do we want to say about him tonight?
Yeah, great game. I thought he made every save that he needed to. He looked calm, cool, and collected. Like he's been exactly what the Oilers have needed for the last couple of years. Just solid goaltending. Those squeakers, and I'm knocking on wood right now at this point, aren't going in the net. He's just, it almost feels like he's giving the team a little bit more life because they know that, hey, like if they make that one mistake, it's not going to end up in the back of their net automatically. Like there's going to be a save coming from it. So it's, I really like his game, and I think he's been an excellent find for this team.
Benny Thomson?
Yeah, I mean, for Ingram, I just don't believe the Oilers were able to play this type of game a couple months ago. Half of it because of the goaltending, half of it because of the defensive play and just the errors they made or the type of system they ran. Like this was a game today where the Oilers go up 2-0 and they didn't coast necessarily, but they were able to sit back and go, okay, we trust our defensive game and we trust our goaltending. Connor Ingram has been nothing but just solid. Again, like gets a shutout tonight, great. But it's not like he stood on his head. He didn't have to. Right? There's to me, this all goes hand in hand. So Connor Ingram, man, I mean, he's again, another solid start. Happy he got a shutout on his birthday. That's always nice to see. But it just seems like this defensive and goaltending end is starting to round out a little bit more for the Oilers. And the problem for the Oilers has never been scoring. So if they can fix these two things, which they have been over the past couple of weeks, again, things are starting to look a little bit better for playoffs.
All right.
I'd be curious to know the difference between the grade A scoring chances in this stretch in the 4 games versus, let's call it a month ago, and see how different they are. Because when you look at the Oilers play, especially in the defensive zone, it seems as if every shot is coming from the outside, which is obviously making life way easier for the goaltenders as opposed to when they're coming, wide open in front of the net.
Yeah.
So there is clearly a difference. Like they're clogging the middle of the ice or making teams work to try to get to net front. But it just also seems like they're in the right lanes and guys are having to shoot around them and pucks are coming from the outside and the goalie's just, he's swallowing up the pucks and there's not a ton of rebounds, which is the nicest thing about that whole thing.
Like Jack and Louie highlighted on the broadcast there. They said like Jordan Eberle had a chance in the slot there, kind of all alone, and Ingram made a nice save. And they were saying like, when was the last time we've seen a chance like that the other team has had, like wide open in front of the net, right? Like you said, like it's been all from the outside, and that's just a big credit to the Oilers defense.
Before we just like totally heap praise on the Oilers, and I know we've basically been doing it for the majority of the 20 minutes we've been on the air. I wanted to say, hey, we're going to get into the power play and the lack of success there, but how much of Edmonton's 4-game winning streak is attributed to the opponents they've been facing. And I don't want to take away anything from the wins because they've earned them. The teams that they've been facing are desperate as well. They just beat Anaheim. We knew that was going to be a big game. But how much of it, if you took a scale, is Edmonton playing better? And then just like they're not playing elite teams right now, but just pretty good ones or okay teams.
I
don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
No,
I'm sorry.
I had this thought. It's funny you mentioned. I had that thought earlier today. I'm like, I wonder if it's the level of opponents, but these are all teams they could play in the first round. Like that's the crazy part. Is like this is just the Western Conference, or at least the side that they're on in the conference. Yeah, like I don't know. Would they have played the same way if it was the Tampa Bay Lightning in town tonight? Probably not.
Well, they lost that game 5-2 2 weeks ago.
Exactly, right? And I actually didn't mind their game. Like, I remember coming away from that post game going, they actually played pretty decent. It's just Tampa's a good team, better team than them.
The Florida game was a disappointment.
Yes.
The 4-0 loss.
So I mean, yeah, it probably factors for sure, but I think you got to build your confidence somewhere, right? And I think if they're building their confidence up now, when you're playing, well, I guess you don't play an Eastern Conference team until a cup final. So you got you got Colorado coming up. So if we'll see how they play against Colorado, I think that's a pretty good measuring stick to see where they're at right now. But they've been building up their confidence against teams they could be playing in the playoffs. So I guess it's a credit to them.
Belzy, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You have to get the job done, and I think that's the biggest thing because, hey, like I think we can all admit it, like they haven't got the job done against teams that they should have. And that was happening earlier this year. And right now, based off their little streak, like they're getting the job done and they're doing it in a fashion in which is going to help them in the playoffs. So, strength of opponent, sure, we can sit back and say that and we can split hairs on it. But at the end of the day, like, you got to win the games that you need. And if you're in a race for the playoffs, well, you play in Anaheim. It's an opponent that you're going to potentially have. And it's a race for first in the division. Got to win that game. Doesn't matter the strength of the opponent. And they're doing that. And that's kind of where I'd go with that one.
All right. Baptized Big Uke says you can only beat the teams in front of you and you've beat 4 in a row. And yeah, that's true. It crossed my mind and I was curious to hear what you guys had to say about it in regard to just like the quality of opponent. And listen, Utah is a good team. They're going to be a playoff team. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be a playoff team. Seattle was on the cusp of tying Nashville for a spot in the wild card 2. That didn't happen because of the Oilers and how well they played tonight. And Seattle, obviously, has been struggling lately, just one win, I think, in its last 6 games and closing out a 6-game road trip. But Edmonton took advantage. There's been many times this season where the Oilers blew a great opportunity for 2 points, and they're not doing that right now. So they deserve credit for that. Okay. One thing that also has been popping up from those that don't want to give Edmonton all the praise tonight is the power play. Goes 0 for 1 tonight. PK, though, 3 for 3, so that's good. The power play, Belzy. What is not clicking there?
You don't have Draisaitl.
Oh, yeah.
You have one of the best shooters in the game and one of the best passers in the game, and he could be arguably a top 5 player in the entire NHL. And, yeah, you're missing him. And now for the last, 4 years, you've had one of the best power plays in the history of the NHL. And you've had basically 2 or 3 plays that you ran, seam pass to Draisaitl, seam pass up to Bouchard, Connor walk in, hit Hyman backdoor. Did I miss anything?
No, that covers majority.
Okay, so you had an over-reliance on that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, Draisaitl is one of the best players in the world.
It worked.
And if you can hit the seam pass to him, and he puts it in the back of the net, are you really that upset? No, you're not, because it worked. Well, guess what? Washington had the same plays. They had hit the bumper to Oshie for a one-timer, and if it wasn't to Oshie on a one-timer, it was going to Ovechkin, and it was in the back of your net. Nobody complained about that. And so right now you lose one of the best players in the league. Yeah, your power play is going to struggle. That's okay. You're going to get Draisaitl back. Your power play is going to go up. Here's the most encouraging piece of the whole thing. 5-on-5 play has gotten way better. 5-on-5 play is something in the playoffs you need. If you can outscore teams 5-on-5, the likelihood for you to win is really, really high.
Okay.
So, yeah, I get it. The power play, it's not great. But there's some silver linings here. Like, what are we doing?
Okay. Well, it hasn't scored in 6 games. Now, keep in mind, they did not get a power play in Utah. Okay. No power plays in Utah. So they go 0 for 1 tonight. They were 0 for 3 against Anaheim, 0 for 2 against Vegas. The Utah game didn't get a power play, 0 for 3 against Tampa, and 0 for 2 against the Florida Panthers.
It's not even like they're getting that many power play opportunities in the games either.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to figure something out.
Like if you're honestly at this point, if you're looking at this game today, okay, and you walk away from that game and you go, oh, man, the power play sucks. The Oilers are in trouble. You might need to find the nearest person and get a hug from them. Because there's so many things in that particular game that were good. The defense has been fantastic in this last 4-game stretch. Their 5-on-5 play has been great in this last 4-game stretch.
Good point.
More players are stepping up than ever in this last 4-game stretch. And I understand it's a small sample size, 4 games, but you got to start somewhere. And the most encouraging thing is that you had Draisaitl out with an injury, and everybody sat back and said, oh man, what's going to happen now? Well, guess what? They've raised their level of play. Other players have raised their level of play. So if you're sitting there and you're like, man, this is the worst thing ever because of power play, well, what else do you want? I don't know.
Okay.
Go get a hug.
Well, Maverick says...
one glass of milk.
Yeah. Maverick says hugs, not drugs. Zedmo adds, be happy with 5-on-5. McDiesel says facts. Colin Buchanan, LOLing. Hoosier Oiler fan says they're not scoring, but there's some really close looks on the power play. And then Brad from Crossfield adds in the inbox, that may be the most responsible but explosive 2-way game I've seen them play all year. You never had a doubt they were winning this game.
Let me take it one step further. So you go back to the playoffs. Why did they lose in the playoffs in the Stanley Cup Finals? It wasn't because of their power play. It's because of 5-on-5. They lost 5-on-5. The year before, they lost because of 5-on-5. And so if I can improve my 5-on-5, do you think I'm going to have a better chance to win in the playoffs? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get Draisaitl back, which your power play is going to instantaneously go up again. Man, that sounds nice. Stop hating.
Stop hating. Stanley texts in, says, guys, I love the win, and when we can't be picky, the Oilers need points, but Seattle is not a top-tier team. I wish they played like that against Tampa and Florida. And then he asks, why aren't they using Roslovic on the power play? He can snipe it with his quick release. I think we have seen him at times on there in this stretch without Draisaitl, and they seem to go to Matt Savoy, who had a 3-game goal scoring streak going into tonight. So they're trying. They're trying different things, and it hasn't been clicking. So, yeah, 0 for 11 in the last 6. They did not have a power play in that game in Utah last week, still managed to win. And then, like Belzy alluded to, the 5-on-5 play has been really, really good. All right, do you want to get to something that you saw real quick, or do you want to go inside the Oilers locker room? Go for
it. Confide. Boom, boom. I once tried that hug the nearest person to strategy and had to explain a few things to the judge. Oh, man, that's good stuff right there.
Nasty chat ceases to amaze me.
The nasty chat's going to nasty.
Oh, it's going to nasty. All right, let's go into the Oilers locker room. Let's hear from the guy that picked up the game-winning goal using his noggin. Max Jones.
I think it hit my elbow and then my face. I don't know. They don't ask how. Well, I guess you guys ask how.
How'd that go in?
I think it was literally my face.
Yeah. So another game where you guys just don't seem to give up a lot early and kind of set a tone. You're getting the hang of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like ever since, we had the conversation about just everyone stepping up a bit, it seems like everyone's kind of just doing a little bit extra out there. The start of the game was pretty evident. You saw how fast it was and how fast we were playing, and just playing simple and kind of carried out through the whole game.
Seen some identity come together with this team, in third, fourth lines and some of the pairings now. Did you sense that to yourself? You're seeing things.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everybody knows. I mean, you expect to, at this point in the season to know where you're at and know what you need to be doing on the ice. So I feel like you can see it out there. Guys are playing the way that they know that they should be, and we're playing great, and it's fun to be a part of. And I mean, the group is really fun to be a part of, just outside of the ice and just being in the locker room with them. So I feel like when you have a good group like that, you really rely on each other to do their job.
You guys had a shutout after 40 minutes the other game, and they scored twice. They really seemed to buckle it down outside of the penalty kill. Ingram, had to make some key saves there, but you guys really seemed to limit them, especially through the neutral. Yeah, no, definitely. I think the biggest part of that is that Ingram made some really great saves. Like he was really good tonight, and you could tell. I mean, we felt it on the bench, and we knew that we needed to step up in certain areas, and if the puck turned over, we knew that Ingo was going to have it tonight. He was on his game, and it was fun to watch.
So Anaheim had that little rally. Seattle didn't go quietly. I mean, they kept coming. But you speak to, is there a level of calm on the bench? Like there's no sort of panic?
Yeah, I think obviously it's hard to, like the Anaheim game, it's just there. Like you feel it, you feel it happen, and you got to try to talk yourself out of it and find the little things where that next shift after they score, dump the puck in, okay, great play, or, big hit, okay, great play, and then you start building the momentum back through that and just talk on the bench. You don't want it to go too quiet, because then you just feel like you could, it just kind of crumbles a little bit. So I feel like it's been a really good bench in terms of staying positive, and we won both those games, so it's fun to be a part of.
It's a pretty healthy competition too. Like there's, guys that are going to get healthy, that are going to push for spots. You got everybody that's in seems to be playing pretty well. Like that's, it's pressure, but it's healthy at this time of year.
Yeah, I think so. I think if someone is playing better than certain guys and they're in the lineup, I think we have the group that's very, admirable to each other. We watch guys get in the lineup and do great things, and we're happy for them. And at the end of the day, it's one goal here, and I noticed that since I got traded here last year. Everything else doesn't matter. Like there's one goal, and if you're not a part of it, then you're not going to be here. And it's very evident with this group and how close it is, and how much everybody really cares for each other.
All right, so there's Max Jones picking up his third goal, point of the season, off his face, as he tells us. So that's the game-winning goal for Jones. And I found that interesting, Bellsy, at the end there, where he said that it's pretty evident that if you're not here to win, then you're not going to be around for much longer. I like hearing that. If I'm trying to talk about a championship caliber team, or a team that has its sights set on a Stanley Cup realistically.
I couldn't agree more. That's exactly what you want to hear from your guys in your lineup, especially your depth players, because they understand how important it is to make sure they're doing the right things on the ice. Because if they don't and they're not playing the right way, they're going to be out of the lineup. And they've basically created a bit of a competition amongst their bottom six forwards, because now we've already had the conversation. Who's going to be in the lineup? That is what you want. You want that competition, because it's going to force everybody to play a little bit better, and that's exactly what's happening.
All right, I'm going to get to this text here. It's from Taco. I'm going to stack up Taco's texts. Taco says, boys, I agree. It was solid performance tonight, but Bellsy saying that the team has matured is wild, considering a week and a half ago McDavid was praising the other team's coach, and all of you were dumping on the team for looking brutal against Florida and Tampa. Yeah, I know. I'm not disagreeing with that, Taco.
Once again, Taco, find the nearest person, go get a hug, because guess what? There has to be baby steps in what you do. A week and a half ago is a week and a half ago. Right now, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They've been playing better defense. Their 5-on-5 is better. Their bottom 6 is better. What else do you want? You got to start somewhere. So if you want to go to the dance, then guess what? You got to figure it out. Thanks, Taco.
Belzy's cooking, baby. Belzy's cooking.
My little wink there.
Belzy's cooking because he's in my kitchen right now inside the EST Satellite Studios. Very good.
Ooh.
That's a hot.
Do it one more time. One more time.
The hottest of takes.
Oh, he's got those hot buttons back at EST Global HQ. Then Taco adds, other players are finally producing because they're actually getting ice time. All season fans have been complaining that the bottom 6 doesn't do enough, but how can they when they barely got ice time prior to the Draisaitl injury? Watch the bottom 6 disappear once again once Draisaitl returns and Knoblauch goes back to overplaying the first and second lines. A bit pessimistic there. It could happen, Taco, but enjoy the spoils of victory. Hug
That's
someone.
a hot take.
Look at you getting excited with the hot buns. I love it.
Well, I just feel like that summarizes the text there.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Big Dave texting in says if the Oilers played like that every night, they'd be a 100-point team. Like how good Nurse and Murphy have been together. Murphy has the right guy to settle Nurse, just like Ekholm did with Bouchard. Nice to see Ingram get a shutout. A good team win that came from solid defense and good fundamental hockey. Wish they played like that for 82 games instead of the last dozen.
Can I read you something quickly?
You may. Yes, absolutely.
This is from Ryan Whitney. Okay. 4 wins in a row for the Oilers. Did it take 75 games to win 4 in a row?
Yep.
Yes. It's all about peaking at the right time. So, did a week and a half matter? No. It's about peaking at the right time. And right now, you're seeing a team that is starting to play the right way. Will it change tomorrow? Maybe. Will it change 2 days from now? Maybe. But right now, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They've been playing good hockey. Stuff we've complained about and critiqued and talked about for the entire year has disappeared from their game. It's all about steps in the right direction. And here we are.
Belzy, I'll add to that. A counter to even my own question a few minutes ago or argument a few minutes ago, like questioning the quality of opponent that they have been facing. They basically, in this last little stretch, have beaten every team they will potentially face in the first round.
Yep.
Or even the second round. Beat Anaheim. Beat Utah. They just beat Seattle. Seattle might make a late push. They have games in hand on Nashville. They beat Vegas. They get Vegas again this weekend. Like, at least they're beating the teams that they would end up playing in the first or second round, likely, as opposed to, being in dicey games, getting their butts whipped, or something way worse. Like, they're doing it against the teams that they need to beat and will likely see in the postseason. So I mean, I'm thinking out loud here as we're going through this show, but to me, that's at least a good sign.
Yeah.
And I'll take a hug from whoever's next to me.
Yeah. I got you, buddy.
I'll see you in a little bit, big boy. All right. Let's go to Casper Kapanen, and then we'll get Belzy's final thoughts. Kapanen ready to go. Big goal tonight for him.
Yeah, I thought it was close to a pretty perfect first period, and it's hard to always kind of follow up a period like that, but I thought throughout the game we played solid, and I've told you guys this a million times, teams are going to have their pushes and they're going to have their chances, but when you have a goalie like Ingo who's playing extremely well right now, that's what it looks like, so it was a good effort from everybody.
Things are coming together here. Is this how you guys drew it up in September?
Yeah, exactly. That was a game plan. That was a secret play. I think we're just trying to simplify the game a little bit right now. Trying not to do too much. Obviously, we still have amazing players that can play with the puck and make plays, but I think the general idea is to kind of simplify, and we're obviously missing Leo out there. So it seems to be working right now, so we just got to keep doing that.
Is this just the calendar and the standings kind of did this, or you legitimately couldn't find it in those first 65 games?
That's a good question. I mean, I wasn't a part of the first, however many games this year either. So, but the main thing is that we're playing the right way right now, and that counts. So we just got to keep doing that.
You guys change up your win zone?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I thought me and Doctor thought it would fit the situation pretty well. Just kind of trying to stay alive, and we've been playing well since. So I think it's hopefully it's going to stick.
So how do you go about changing the win song? Is it like you have to go through leadership? Is there a vote? Do you just do it? Like, how does that work?
I think you just talk to Darnell, and Darnell is going to do it. So he decided to change it, and like I said, it's just been working for us.
Has a shot like it stung you in the foot?
Yeah, it always stings, but that's the small little things like that you just need to kind of do, and I feel like throughout the game I kind of let a couple go by me on the PK, so just trying to be in front of it, and didn't feel great, but maybe have a couple cold ones today, and it'll feel better.
You're playing with Dickinson, and obviously you get a lot of defensive zone starts. Take on some of the other team's best guys at times. I'm enjoying that challenge, and just the coach putting you in that spot on top of the penalty kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big responsibility, and I think for the most part, me and Dickie have been doing a good job, and obviously I haven't played with Dickie before since he came here. So, and I thought playing with Rico today, that whole line, and generally thought we had a good game. So we just got to keep doing more of that, and it's also a tough role. I mean, when you play against elite players like that, they're always going to have chances, and that's just the game of hockey. So just trying to minimize as much as we can, and I thought we did a great job of that today.
It's one team, but I know depth players maybe sometimes take pride as a group when you guys can contribute as much as you have been lately. Like as a group of the third and fourth line guys that are pushing hard to contribute. What does this little stretch mean to you guys and heading to the playoffs?
Well, I think just the last 4 games that we've played, it kind of shows we have guys like Jonesy and the fourth line were phenomenal today as a unit. I thought our line was great today. The first 2 lines, they know what they're supposed to do out there, and we do. Eventually we're going to have Leo back, so we're going to have Connor and Leo, and those guys are going to carry the offensive side of this team, which is their role. And as third and fourth line guys, we just try to do as much as we can and generate energy, and then kind of keep it maybe kind of a 0-0 game, and hopefully on the power play we'll score a couple, and the PK's been doing a lot better job than it was earlier this year. So it's all coming together at the perfect time right now. So we're happy where we're at.
Yes, indeed, you should be happy where you're at, Casper Kapanen. Talking about Ingo, Dickie, Doctor, not Doc. Any other nicknames he threw in? I'm sure he goes by Cappy. And his 8th goal of the season, a good individual effort, stealing and knocking away a pass by Adam Larson, and then going in and scoring his 8th goal of the season, which ends up being the turning point of the game. Presented by the Save the Reed Sport Medicine Clinic at Connor McDavid's. Got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Save the Reed Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.savethereedsportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to pinpoint his goal with the 2-0 cushion, that insurance marker. It let Ingo do his thing, and the defense played well, and Dickey and Murph and Nuggy and Davo, all because Cappy was able to score that goal on a nice individual effort, which is your Save the Reed Sport Medicine turning point of the game.
What's worse?
Tell me.
Saying we or doing what you just did?
I did that in jest. I hope you caught on.
Oh, no, I'm fully aware, but it's still, I had to listen to that. I'm never going to get that 20 seconds back in my life. So I just wanted to ask that question.
I call you Belsey literally every time.
Yeah, but we're like good buddies.
Yes, and colleagues and business partners and friends.
Yes.
We're like,
you answer the question?
We're like Ingo and Doctor.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, we're racing.
This is
you can't get that last.
The nasty chat is equally as silly with all the mature comments. This is hilarious.
Yes.
This is the way it should be. People should be having fun. They just won the game. Like, enjoy it.
So mature, it needed help and couldn't get up.
I love it.
Dave the Welder, by the way, says, my daughter noticed how in the scrum there were players hugging it out. Emberson and another. They must have been listening to Hugs Not Drugs. Well done.
They could have been.
Conroe, Texas, noticed that you're fired up. Conroe, Texas also says a lot of people are going to Connor Ingram. Connor Ingram, a lot of money by the end. Pfizer this year, if he keeps his play up, all of a sudden with a good goalie, Knobloch looks like a genius again. And he says Belzy is fired up. All right.
I'm not fired up. I'm just spitting facts at you. That's all. Mm-hmm. No fired up over here. I'm too tired for that.
Speaking of which, I'll give you the option. Do you want to hear from Connor Ingram, or do you want to give your final thoughts and look ahead to
give my
Thursday?
Final thoughts, because I got to make my way back to the dirty South.
To your bed is what you need. You make your way back to.
You need to go nana.
I need to go. I need to go to sleep.
Okay, Belzy, Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday. What
Chicago Blackhawks? You got another team that should be a win, and once again, it's everything that you do at this time of the year matters, and so you got to get more of the same. And you heard Kapanen talk about it. Simplify your game, make sure you're doing the right things, and play the right way. You can't take teams lightly, because we've seen over the course of the year that anytime you take a team lightly, they end up beating you. And it's happening all across the NHL. It's happened with the Oilers way too much this season. Mm-hmm. They're in the midst of a 4-game winning streak. Make it 5. Go out, just completely dominate the Chicago Blackhawks, because it's a team that you should. Give Murph and Dickey the opportunity to wave goodbye to their former team. Like, hey, enjoy the Lynx, boys, because you guys earned it. So it should be a good game, and I expect the Oilers to come out and handle their business pretty quickly.
Great stuff, Beller.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
So bad.
That is criminal.
That is criminal.
Yeah.
Belzy, awesome as always, my friend. And we'll catch up with you tomorrow on the Hangout.
Sounds good. Nasties.
There you go. There's Shawn Belle, our game analyst, helping us break down the Oilers' 3-0 victory over the Seattle Kraken. Edmonton goes 3-1 against Seattle this year in the season series. Library Pat, I like this, via the inbox 780-218-9999 says, no bueno, Tom. Don't do that again, even in jest.
Come on, you're not. and Doctor and Ingo. Yeah, you're.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Sorry for having a little bit of fun. I apologize. It's silly.
So today.
The chat is popping off tonight. Okay, we can go inside the Oilers locker room. Let's go to the birthday boy. I will not use his terrible nickname, although most hockey nicknames are awful. Let's go to Connor Ingram, who picked up his second shutout of the season, 9th of his career, does it on his birthday.
I was trying to think. It's funny you asked that. I was driving around today, and I remember playing a playoff game in Kelowna when I was still with Camels. I don't think it was a shutout, though, but I remember winning a game out there. I hated going there.
Did they sing happy birthday to you after the game?
No, thank God.
Cake?
No, not here. I think Sarah's got some cupcakes for me at home, though.
Oh.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, what's your favorite cupcake?
I'm not much of a cupcake guy. I'm not an icing guy. Yeah, she brought home a cookie, and that's what I've been eyeing up all day. Yeah, a little mini egg cookie. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna get into it.
So, I mean, how are you feeling in there? You look pretty just comfortable, calm. Just keep building on everything you've been doing for the last couple months.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the more you play, the easier it's gonna get. I thought everybody in front of me did a great job today. You know, I didn't really have to do much back there. Maybe that bad bounce on the PK that kicks out to the slot, but other than that, I thought everybody in front of me made my job really easy.
I wanted to ask you about that shot. It pops up, and you just seemed to look very confident, came out challenge, blocker save, kind of made it look a lot easier than maybe it was. Is that just when you're in a zone, everything, you feel very confident just to move, even on a broken play?
Yeah, Tolvi and I played together in Nashville and Milwaukee for a long time, so I've seen that shot several times before, which, you know, might give you a head up. I didn't know where it was going, but I've seen that guy shoot a puck a lot, so I think that was a big advantage for me. And then I was able to take a huge step out because I knew I had help coming, and at that point it's just one-on-one. You got to win that.
I know you're primarily focused on your game, but you're sitting there watching, and this group seems to have really kind of dialed things in detail-wise defensively. Like, as the goaltender, what little things are you noticing that they're taking care of that maybe were a little looser before?
That's a good question. I try to stay in my own little paint down there. But no, I think, a lot of pucks don't even get to me anymore. And then when they do, I think there's bodies and guys around helping out. And I think it's just the little things. We put an emphasis on it coming back, and now it's just doing it. So I'm not a X's and O's guy that will give you a good answer for that. But, I mean, for me, it seems like it's going well.
Okay, there was Connor Ingram actually having some fun little cheekiness there at the start. I like that. Looks like he's enjoying himself as he should on his birthday. He's going to enjoy a cookie from his wife, Cadbury mini egg one, it sounded like. Time for Easter. That's fantastic. Spring is supposed to be here, although it sounds like we're getting snow again. What an awful word this time of year. But a thing that stood out to me there, Benny, was when Ingram said a lot of those pucks aren't even getting to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very encouraging. And then he said there's an emphasis on back checking. And obviously we're talking about the Oilers being better 5-on-5 and their defensive game coming around. I think that's telling when he said a lot of those pucks aren't even getting to me anymore. That is a great sign as Connor Ingram gets the shutout for the win and his ninth career shutout, second of the season, as Ingram improves to 14-8-2 on the year. All right. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. The Oilers win 3-0 over the Seattle Kraken. Goals from Max Jones, Casper Kapanen, and Connor McDavid into the empty net as we welcome in Reid Wilkins, our very own Reid Wilkins for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you could order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. I know people were fired up and electrified by the Oilers' victory. The locker room there, Riedrich, as you worked it, seemed like it was in good spirits, high energy. What do you make of that when it's a fun room post-game like that this time of year?
Well, I think that they know what time of year it is, Tom. And I get the probably frustration with why didn't we see more of this earlier? I mean, I heard the text from Taco saying wasn't it just a week and a half ago they looked like an incompetent team that couldn't beat Florida and Tampa Bay? Yep. And that's fair. Those were discouraging losses. But since then, they've answered the bell. They've played 4, as you pointed out, 4 possible playoff opponents, depending. Obviously they couldn't play more than 2 of them, but maybe the couple that they could play, and they've looked pretty good. I mean, they've been the better team 4 consecutive times. Mm-hmm. Now, sure, if Taco or other people are suggesting how are they going to do against Tampa Bay, Dallas, Colorado, or Minnesota, or whoever, fair questions. Cross that bridge when they come to it, because if you come to it, you've made the Western Conference final or maybe the Stanley Cup final, and you've probably built a pretty good game by then. Here are some things that impressed me tonight. The first period. So the Oilers played an 8-game homestand shortly before the Olympic break, only went 4-4, won 2 games in overtime on kind of unlikely comebacks late in the third period, and trailed a lot of the time in that 8-game homestand. They were falling behind a lot, or if they had the lead, they couldn't extend it. I thought they played an awesome first period tonight. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a lot of I think Seattle got a couple shots right near the end. For most of that period, Seattle was stuck on 3 shots. Yeah. So they came out, they rolled 4 lines, they played simple, they played hard in the offensive zone. They were committed to checking when Seattle had the puck, and they grabbed the lead. Now, yes, of course, Seattle had a push. When you're down, you're going to go for it a little more, but at least they put an opponent, and they did it to Anaheim, in a trailing position. You've come out on home ice and said, this is our territory. We're going to initiate. We're going to make you try to catch up to us, and you put both Anaheim and Seattle in positions where, they pretty much have to have things go perfectly to even get the game into overtime, and that rarely happens. So that's number one that impressed me. Number two is the play of the third and fourth lines. So you have, McDavid got an empty net goal. The only lines that scored on goaltenders were the third and fourth lines. You got
Right.
Max Jones. 3 goals for Max Jones. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year? Goes in off his face. But why is that line getting chances? Because they're playing in straight lines. We've talked about Lazar. When he's on the ice, it's a straight line. It's the puck below the icing line. And then if the puck comes out from behind the icing line, it's the puck and people going to the net. So he was a part. I know he didn't get a point. He's part of that play. He's going to the net. Jones is going to the net. Wallman puts it on the net, goes in off his face. Kapanen makes a smart play, steals the puck, makes a nice shot on the kind of partial breakaway down the right hand side. And plus, when those lines were on the ice, they were tilting the ice. And Knobloch made the point in his post-game availability that they scored, but they also give you setup shifts. They do things in the offensive zone to wear down the other team's defense or earn an icing or don't let the other team get any momentum. So that's point number two that impressed me. And then point number three, again, and we have to keep talking about him because he's becoming one of the biggest stories of the year for the Edmonton Oilers, is Connor Ingram. Mm-hmm. This is just solid, very good goaltending. Obviously a shutout. Anaheim, he played pretty well. Even in Vegas, like we keep saying, Tom and Ben, nothing leaky gets by him. If he gets beat, it's usually a good shot or on multiple chances in front, like against Vegas, where he's already made a couple good saves and his teammates don't clear it. And today, again, stopping point shots, stopping shots when he's screened, making saves on the Seattle power play, from good shooters, Beniers shooting, guys like that, or just making himself big and finding the way for the puck to hit him. Like, one thing I think of with Connor Ingram, how many times does he make a save with his blocker or with his shoulder and the puck goes up over the glass? Compare that to the other goaltenders who have played for the Oilers this year. Yeah. A couple of whom are probably bigger than him, but he's not getting beat up high. There's not those shots that almost look like they drift past him and he just misses them. This is, I think we have to call it excellent goaltending because he got a shutout. And anytime, the Oilers did make an error, and I do think they played pretty good, but there were a couple errors. There's always a turnover or two. Mm-hmm. He cleans it up. And I said that to, Iwanek was there in the first period. There was a turnover in the neutral zone, and Seattle kind of came in on a partial 3-on-2 and got a decent shot away. He stopped it. It was up over the glass. And I said to Matt, if that goes in, we're talking about, there's the stupid old Oilers again, turning over the puck, not back checking, acting confused. Instead, it was kind of just a normal hockey play that sometimes a team turns over the puck, goalie cleans it up, nobody even thinks about it. So that was a confidence-inspiring game for Ingram.
Let us know your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Greg the Sound Guy says, that Ingram post-game, haha, what a beauty. He is a pure Saskatchewan solid dude. Go Riders. That's from Greg.
Oh, he has to throw in the Go Riders, eh? Okay.
They are Grey Cup champions, as you know, Riedrich.
Yeah, I follow the league.
I know you do. You and I talk about the league quite often, and I'm very excited that the league gets going in 70-something days. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. All right, Reid Wilkins joining us now for Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. The Oilers pick up a 3-0 victory over the Seattle Kraken. They pull themselves to within 2 points of the Anaheim Ducks. I know Anaheim has a game in hand. I know the Oilers don't face Anaheim again this season, in the regular season, I should add. With that win, and I know we talked about it on the Oil Stream yesterday afternoon, do you think maybe their odds of getting into first in the Pacific have increased a little bit? Had a bunch of injuries that they had to deal with. Carlson got hurt yesterday. I think Cutter Gauthier got hurt. Gudis, who knows? He might not play the next little while as well. He went in just to get into a fight yesterday. Do you think maybe the odds of the Oilers stepping into first place in the Pacific have gone up after the sequence of events that have happened over the last couple of days?
Well, clearly they've gone up. I still think it's below 50%. And that's just because of the games remaining. I mean, right. we're at the time of season when not a lot of points are available. So, good for the Oilers. Their maximum point total is 99 if they go undefeated. Now, the Oilers would have the tiebreaker on Anaheim unless all of a sudden the Oilers only win in overtime and the Ducks only win in regulation.
Right.
So that means the Ducks would have to get to 100. So they'd have to get 13 points in 8 games. So, yeah, they'd have to go 6-1-1, but that's if the Oilers go undefeated, right? So, again, if the Oilers go 5-2, that's 95 points. Then the Ducks only have to go 500 the rest of the way, or I guess 9 points in 8 games. So it's possible. I mean, there is math that makes it work, but the Oilers probably have to win 6 or 7 of their remaining games, or they're down to 7 remaining.
They're down to 7, yeah.
So, yeah, they probably have to win 6, get to 97, and then Anaheim has to get 11 points in their final 8 games. So I think it's still going to be tough, but it's definitely in play. I mean, if Anaheim drops 1, or even if the Oilers sweep the rest of this homestand, if they beat Chicago and Vegas, which is certainly possible, and then that puts a little heat on Anaheim that they can't drop a game. So I think it's there. I'm still going to characterize it as I guess the underdog in the scenario.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I think with what happened last night and then how Edmonton is continuing to roll, and a chance, especially Thursday and then Saturday, to potentially pick up 4 more points. Like they might, if Anaheim stumbles, find their way back in there. But you're right. Like the odds of it, still not particularly great. But do you even think it matters, or you would prefer they finish in the 2 or 3 slot?
Yeah, I don't know anymore. I mean, I was talking a couple of weeks ago that I think Utah might be more of a dangerous team than a Pacific Division team. The Oilers still have another game with them, so we'll see how that matchup goes. Mm-hmm. Vegas is, I am a little worried Tortorella is going to give them a spark. It might not last a long time, but is it enough for them to win a round or 2?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I don't really know. Like, just make the playoffs, be playing well going in. I think the Oilers are likely going to be in a bracket with Anaheim, Vegas, and Utah, because it's even going to be tough for, I know LA has a couple games in hand on Vegas, but still going to be tough to catch them. So I think just keep playing this way going into the postseason, because if the Oilers play the way they've been playing and Ingram backs up them that way, they'd be tough to beat for any of the teams I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And hey, what do I keep saying on the other side of the draw in terms of wild card stuff? Watch out for the Winnipeg Jets. Here they are, baby. Aren't they 1 point out now?
They
They are.
Yep.
76 points.
If they play Colorado round 1, man, that's
a great series right there.
That's gotta be the worst matchup Colorado gets.
I agree, Ben. I agree. If Winnipeg goes in hot like that, I know they traded some guys away, but they still got Hellebuck. They still got a lot of guys on that team from last year that won the President's Trophy. So to me, the Jets are really a team to watch here.
All right, I'm going to read this one from Nature Boy. Nature Boy texted in and says, "Good evening, my Edmonton Sports Talk friends. Just leaving the game, driving down Jasper Avenue. I think the Oilers are now starting to feel it. It didn't look good for a second that the outcome of the game was going to be in question. Good, mature game, and happy birthday to Connor Ingram. He deserves it." I wanted to get that one from Nature Boy there. Greg the Sound Guy says, also, what is this Oilers magic number? My dumb math sees 9. And Iwanek would always do the Oilers magic number. He'd have an equation that he would use. They're pretty close. I think they're 77 points. They're 8 points up on Nashville, who holds down a wild card spot. So is it a combination of Oilers points versus losses that the Preds have?
Yeah.
And then that gives you your number. So
I think it would be against LA though, Tom.
Oh, right. Yeah. LA has
so
76
LA's
points.
maximum point total. So LA has 22 remaining points. So their maximum total is 98. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, sorry. LA has 18. They have 9 games left.
They have
my
9 games,
mistake.
yeah.
So they have their
94.
maximum is 94. Edmonton's already at 85. Edmonton should have the tiebreaker with the regulation. So 9 points. So I think the magic number is compared to LA. So that's any combination of points the Oilers get or the Kings don't get.
That's right.
Yeah.
Adding up to 9. So don't always just look at, it's not just the Oilers have to get 9 points. So if there is an evening in which the Oilers won and LA lost in overtime, that would take 3 off the magic number.
3, yeah. Sorry.
In that case, if LA lost in regulation and the Oilers won, it would take 4 off the magic number.
That's
so
right.
you're pretty close, really, to clinching a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Probably mid next week, I would think the Oilers will have clinched.
Yep, I think we'll see that X by their name by then if they continue to play well. And Reed, what do you expect from the Oilers on Thursday?
Well, I hope they can do the same thing. I mean, this is obviously now a weaker opponent with Chicago. They're only ahead of Vancouver.
Yep.
In the Western Conference, minus 53 goal differential. I mean, they don't score a lot. They only have 195 goals for, which is third worst in the Western Conference, tied for third worst. And when I'm just looking at the goals, they actually are slightly better goals against than the Oilers, but lately the Oilers look a lot better. So just play this type of game, and hopefully, I mean, this has been, Tom, this has been a ongoing thing, not just for this season, but for years, for the Oilers to be a better first period team. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see it in flashes, but you also see long stretches where they kind of just sleepwalk through the first period. I mean, with a team like Chicago, like jump on them, make them play from behind, challenge them. I'm sure they're in that mindset. I'm not saying they're pro athletes. They don't give up, but in the back of their minds, they know, okay, we know exactly the day our season ends.
Yeah.
So
true.
It's another game closer to that. So try to sap Chicago's will early in that game, and then hopefully you have another pretty solid night.
You know what? This was another solid edition of Reed's Read, brought to you by Ewell. Buddy, good stuff. Good work tonight. Get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Ben. Good night, everybody.
There you go. There's Reid Wilkins with Reed's Read, brought to you by Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. You can slide in a text, 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat's been pretty funny. I popped over there and looked, and people are having a good time. All the mature jokes are well played, I will say. Very good spirits in oil country after a 3-0 victory over the Seattle Kraken. Your 3 stars tonight, Ingram, the birthday boy, Kapanen, and Savoy. Were you a little bit surprised, Benny, that Savoy got a star? He had 4 shots, no points, no plus, no minus. He was even.
Yeah,
I think played a bunch of minutes, but
just the odd, like the night he doesn't have anything on the score sheet is the night they get him with one of the 3 stars. I thought they would have given Max Jones a little bit of love.
He had a good game. I mean,
scored one off his dome, according to him. So I mean, that was like good for him. I thought he had a solid game, but yeah, I obviously no problems with me. Throwing Savoy, giving him some extra love because he's been playing incredible as of late.
Sportsnet picked tonight's 3 stars, by the way, for those curious. Not Yamaha Resort and Casino. That's only in Vegas.
Yes. Jeez, man. If we have a playoff series, like if we're seeing an Oilers versus Golden Knights series in Vegas, I'm gonna be very curious to see how those 3 stars come out when
we'll see if Yamaha Resort and Casino paid for the 3 stars sponsorship in the postseason, or maybe it ends at the regular season. Benny, player of the game, all you, buddy.
Let's do this thing. The Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home and community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. The I have rules with my player of the game.
Yes.
Has to be an Oiler. Can't be anyone in 3 stars. But it's someone's birthday today. And he gets a shutout on his birthday. I'm going to do it. Connor Ingram. I'm giving it to him. Player of the game. Right. I mean, like he said in his post-game show, not a lot of pucks are even getting to him, which is a positive for the Oilers defense and how they're playing. But when the puck did get to him, he made the big saves when he needed to. He's got a mini egg cookie waiting for him at home, which I'm jealous of. And again, man, like I can't stress this enough. Like where this team would be without Connor Ingram right now is a scary thought to me. Like this guy, like it's not like he has been a Vezina winning goalie or anything, but he has been solid, and the Oilers have been looking for solid goaltending for years. And if they were having to run Tristan Jarry and Calvin Picker right now as their tandem, I don't think the Oilers are in a playoff spot right now. Maybe that's the difference here. But Connor Ingram has stepped in and played really, really well. And you know what? For that, David Bunting, real estate player of the game. It's going to be Connor Ingram tonight.
He's going to go home and have that delicious birthday cookie and have a little na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes.
Na-na-na-na-na.
Yes.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's an inside joke. I'm sorry. Let's end tonight's show with Ian's text. Ian says, the only team I'm afraid of in the Pacific is the Oilers. If they play their game, West Final, if they go full Oiler, never go full Oiler. Excellent Tychkowski reference. They are out in the first round. That's from Ian. All right. Big night for Connor Ingram and the Oilers. 3-0 victory. His second shutout of the season, 9th of his career. And the Oilers continue and extend the the winning streak, I should say. Ingram, by the way, 14th victory of the season. They'll look to make it 5 in a row when they take on the Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday night. That game, 7 p.m. We're on the air for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 6. Big thank you to everybody who listened on iHeartRadio and, of course, TuneIn Radio. To those who watched on YouTube, thank you so very much as well. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. The boys will pick things up tomorrow at 6 a.m. on the Nielsen Show and break this one down all over again. And another fantastic day of local sports content right here on our fine station with the Nielsen Show and the Hangout and the Lock Shop and the Oil Stream and ESC Afternoons and, of course, the Reid Wilkins Show coming up tomorrow. All right, for Ben Thomson, Reid Wilkins, and Shawn Belle, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night, everyone. Thank you.